What's up, everybody? Today I have a guide for you on how to craft Helion weapons and armors in Dekaron. This video suggestion was brought to us by TRBN420. He said, a video for crafting stuff. I just recently noticed that you can craft treasure hunter runes. It would have been nice to know this earlier. Gear crafting, where to get the materials. Still don't know where to get the stuff for Helion weapons and armor. I know Helion weapons and armor has been asked for before, so that's what I decided to focus on for this video. I can't do just a video on crafting. There's way too much. So if you want other crafting videos, you can suggest specific things for crafting, and I can focus on that. But yeah, it's just too much to cover all the crafting in one video. That's just too much for me. I'm going to be honest with you. There's too much. But yeah, remember, if you want to see a video in the future that you want, make sure to be subscribed, leave it in the comments, and if it gets the most upvotes, that'll be the next video that I work on. Reminder that it doesn't have to be Dekaron related, although I have a feeling it'll continue to be that. I'm willing to work on or do whatever kind of video you guys are interested in. Also, make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and leave a like on the video. Pretty easy to do, and it helps me out immensely. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump right into this. Okay, Helion and weapon crafting guide for Dekaron. So let's start with kind of the basics. So in order to do this, you have to select a mastery to start with, if you haven't done so already, because you have to be able to click on your little craft anvil here, and it'll pull up your crafting system menu. Now, this won't be available to you just right off the bat, so you have to come here to Dora, and you have to select your craft mastery, and if you want to craft Helion weapons, you do a weapon mastery, and if you want to do armor, you do armor mastery. Now, I recommend doing this on two different accounts. You can have your main be either weapons or armor, and then you can have an alt be either armor or weapon, whichever one you didn't select. It's just easier to do it that way, so I'm just going to recommend that right now. Now, to craft, let's start with the weapons. Let's start with Helion weapons. Helion weapons and armor. So for the weapon, you have to get your mastery to level 3. To level up your mastery, all you have to do is just go to this first mastery tab here and just craft some of these easier weapons to craft. So you can do like, weapon hone first grade or something like that, or the process materials. This is all stuff that you get from the level 185 dungeon in Matira. I guess I could show you which dungeon that is. For some reason, I'm blanking on the name of that dungeon, but that's where you get a lot of the supplies for that. But you're going to need to craft enough of those items to get yourself up to level 3. So that's the first thing you have to do. Let me just show you this dungeon really quick, though. It's this one over here. Forgotten Underground Temple. Thank you. So this is the 185 dungeon. Yeah, so you're going to get the supplies there. You're going to get your crafting level up. You'll have to do the same thing for the armor mastery as well on your alt account. You can just trade the stuff over and you can level it up. Now, for actually crafting the weapon and the armor, there's a couple items that you're going to have to be looking for. So, the majority of the items that you need for both the weapon and for both the armor are going to come from the 190 party dungeon. Let me go ahead and show you where that is. So from our Deka, you are going to take the teleporter, and you are going to go to Space of Pilgrimage. And at Space of Pilgrimage, you're just going to come around the corner here, and the party dungeon is located right here under Mizoki's Trial Party Mode. I do have a full guide on how to do the dungeon. It's a little bit older, but it's still relevant. So make sure that you go and check that video out. I want to point out that this is a party dungeon and requires at least 3 people. And the dungeon is not the easiest dungeon in the world, so you are probably going to need other people to complete it. I'm just going to let you know that now. Otherwise, you have to be pretty geared out to be soloing this, just because the final boss has a lot of HP. Okay. So let's see. What are the other items that you need for the weapon? So let's go ahead and run down this list again. Creator's Mudrock comes from your mastery level 1. Product material, Mudrock of the Creator. You need 1,000 socket powder and 1,000 gemstones. Gemstones are farmed in any field, so you can just get those from farming. You can buy them from other players. Socket powder comes from disassembling items. I usually do it with socket stones. So you just farm junk gems and then you disassemble them. So once you have a bunch of junk gems, you can farm them on lower level maps or anywhere, or you can buy them in the agency. You come here to Carmen, you go to disassemble, and then you just disassemble. Like here, I've got some of these 3% God of Wars that I don't need, so I could throw these in, and then you disassemble, and you get socket powder. So up next for the weapon, you need adamantium and you need heavenly energy. These are farmed in Shangri-La. Shangri-La is located north of Arcadia. Just to show you how you get there, you go to Arcadia, which is located over here. You can go to polluted or purified. It doesn't really matter because we're just passing through anyway. And then we go up to Shangri-La. And then once you get up to Shangri-La, which is a DK server, you can farm any monster on this map, and any of the monsters can drop both adamantium and heavenly energy. This will take a little bit to farm. It's not a super common drop, but they do drop fairly consistently. I know I've farmed them a couple times. It didn't take me too long. So you go here. And you can farm anywhere on the map. However, I will say that the best place to farm is there's like these spirit creatures that are like right around here on the map. And these have the fastest spawn rate and are in the highest concentration. So this area right here by far is the best place to farm heavenly energy and adamantium. Okay, what's next? Craft. After that, we have Sun Essence. Sun Essence comes from the party dungeon that I talked about earlier. It's a final drop from the boss. First grade weapon mud rocks. These drop in the Forgotten Underground Temple dungeon, which I also have a guide for on my channel, so you can check that out. And you can also get them from Dragon's Nest as well. So either of those are a good place to farm those. And then you also need to have a Heffron weapon that you can put into the crafting menu as well. The Heffron weapon is in Mastery Level 2. And you can see all the stuff you need for crafting that here. And every single one of these items comes from the level 185 Forgotten Underground Temple. So all of this drops in there. You just have to complete that dungeon, and you will eventually get all of these items. And they're not that hard to get. Again, Dragon's Nest also drops these items as well. So that's everything you need for the weapon, right? So let me check that. Helion. So we went over this. You craft the mud rock. These drop in Shangri-La. This drops from the Undo Mizoki Party dungeon. This drops from the 185 Forgotten Underground Temple dungeon. And you craft a Heffron weapon by completing the Forgotten Underground Temple dungeon as well. Okay, so let's go ahead now, and I want to talk about armor, because the armor is different. So you need to have another character that has Mastery Armor maxed out. I have it, or not maxed out, just level 3. I have a level 3 on my, or this guy isn't level 3, but he has Armory Mastery selected, so I can just show you. You can see the crafting level there. Same thing, you just, you use these early level crafting things to level up your crafting. And then if we look at Helion, we can look at all the items here. So Helion's Blessing, Ordeal, and Courage token, all 3 of these, as well as the Monochrome Ore, Sun Essence, and the White Leader's Reference, all come from the 190 Party Dungeon in Space of Pilgrimage. I'll mention, too, that in my guide, I, in detail, show you where everything drops so that you can see that. But yes, all of these items drop there. And then in addition to that, you have to craft a Heffron piece as well. And just like with the weapon, you go here, and everything that you need to craft the armor drops in the 185 dungeon Forgotten Underground Temple. So that is how you craft all the Helion stuff. That's pretty much it. The hardest part of this, honestly, is that the 190 dungeon is not super popular anymore. I don't see a lot of people running it and crafting Helion, mostly because most people at this point in the game are working on the level 200 armor Rondo. However, if you are interested in trying to craft it, you can do that. And then the thing is, you do craft it. It has random stats. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. Not the most popular thing in the world. Now, you can also find a lot of Heffron and Helion armor just in the agency. This is because they sell Helion boxes and Helion boxes in the D shop periodically. They kind of come in and out. So you'll find that a lot of people are just selling armor pieces for that reason. So yeah, that's just here in the agency. I mean, you can go to any class. Like, so for me personally, I'm going to be honest, like what I tend to do is if I'm working on a class, I'll come here and I'll watch for people selling Helion pieces for the class that I'm working on. Like you can see there's a bunch for a Concert Summoner right now. And then you can just kind of slowly buy your pieces and upgrade them yourselves or do whatever you want. There are also items, when you craft, it takes 24 hours to craft. However, you can get these things called catalysts. You can see here there's this Helion weapon production package, and there's armor ones as well. These are from an old event, and you can get catalysts from them, and then you can craft stuff instantly instead of in 3 days. You can see here that each of these has a catalyst 1-day pack in them, and you can use all 3 of those, and then it reduces your crafting time, or sorry, just one of them because it's 24 hours. So this will let you do it 3 times for each of these packs. A lot of people are selling these in the agency. They gave out a bunch of them at an event a long time ago. I still have a ton of them as well. So that's something to keep in mind. I do want to point out too that Helion armor also drops in materia in these things called caches. If I can spell Helion, oh my gosh. Sorry, it's kind of early for me right now. Let's see. Yep, so Helion armor caches. This gives you a random piece of Helion armor. And like I said, those drop in materia. I don't think there's a Helion one. Maybe there is. Oh, there are Helion armor caches as well. So this is another way to get Helion armor. You can buy these from other players. I'm pretty sure these drop in Shangri-La, although someone might have to fact check that for me. I'm not 100% sure. So while you're farming, you can get one of these too. Again, it is random which piece of armor you get, so you don't get to choose. And then these Helion armor exchange boxes, these definitely came from D shop events. So, but you can also see here like 6 mil dill is really not that much, and you could just pick a piece of armor that you want anyway. I mean, it is random stats, but compared to how excessive the crafting process is, this could be a lot easier. So yeah, so again, you can craft these if you want. Honestly, I recommend trying to buy them from other players at this point, just because it's going to take you a long time to actually farm the armor piece, and then you might not get the stats you want. Either that, or if you get to level 200, you can be thinking about Rondo, which drops in caches in Elmar, which is the level 200 map. Anyway, yeah, I hope this was helpful. If you guys have any questions or suggestions, as those, you can leave in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and until next time, take care.